Future-proof for life. That's what we want for you and your business. And that's what our Partnerships of the Future program is all about, as you will discover here today. Future-proof electrical contractors are ecosystem-enabled and open to collaboration. That allows them to deliver flexible, end-to-end energy management and automation solutions that help customers drive efficiency, growth, and profitability. Your customers live in a new energy landscape, one that is moving toward a world that is all electric and all digital. And for good reason. Climate change demands that we act today. Consider this: 80% of global carbon emissions arise from the production and consumption of energy. Current fossil-based end-to-end energy systems are 60% inefficient. And without structural change, post-COVID, a strong carbon rebound is inevitable. The good news is, at the intersection of electrification and digitalization is the new electric world. We call this Electricity 4.0, and it has three components. One, electrification, to make energy green, because electricity is the most efficient energy and the best vector of decarbonization. Two, digitization, to enable a smart future, because digitization allows supply and demand efficiency and lifecycle software. And three, electrification plus digitization, to make sustainability possible, because the combination can be implemented across all industries and all aspects of life. Here's another great thing about Electricity 4.0. It gives you the potential to future-proof your business. Our mission at Schneider Electric is to be your digital partner in sustainability and efficiency in the new electric world. We want to help you build your business while enabling your customers to survive and thrive. We do this with our innovative EcoStruxure offering and with our mySchneider and Schneider Electric Exchange digital platforms. The mySchneider platform is a personalized self-service site that gives you everything you need to respond better and faster to your customers' needs. And Schneider Electric Exchange is an online community of cross-industry experts who tackle challenges, exchange ideas, and co-create bold solutions. You'll hear more about both of these exciting platforms during our talk today. Hello, everyone. I would like to personally welcome each of you to our Let's Exchange Innovation Talk series. I am Natalie Block, Director of Global Contractor Channel at Schneider Electric. Today, I'm excited to host a panel of experts with a deep understanding of the contractor world. We'll start with digital ecosystems and how we can partner together efficiently and effectively to deliver greater impact in the new electric world. Let me give a warm welcome and introduction to our panelists. First is Tom Clark, Chief Experience Officer at Big Technologies, joining us from the US. Next, Andy Walker, an Engineering Director at ISG, joining us from the UK. And lastly, Rohan Kelkar, the Executive Vice President of Power Products at Schneider Electric. It is also a great privilege to have a live audience worldwide joining us from LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. We are also live on Schneider Electric Exchange, our partner community platform. And I'd really want today's innovation talk to be interactive. So feel free to drop your questions and comments in the chat at any time. And we have a team of subject matter experts available to provide answers throughout the session. Let's test it out. If you could please just take a second to use the chat function and announce yourself, your company, and the city you are in. Okay, wonderful. It's great to see such a big audience that's joining us today. So we can go ahead and get started. So Tom, I'm going to start with you. A lot has changed between Electricity 3.0 and 4.0. How have you navigated this transformation brought on by digitization?
Yeah, thanks, Natalie. First, thanks for having us today. Always fun to take an opportunity to talk innovation with Schneider Electric and others from around the globe. So, you know, as a contractor, it continues to be a challenge when we look at budgets and how our clients going to pay for, you know, what can be viewed as an additional cost to digitize their business. And over the course of the last few years, it's really become apparent that it's driven by more than cost, but there's also sustainability and resiliency that is a part of the conversation and something that is affecting their business. So that has really helped us with the conversation, you know, around the cost. At the same time, because these technologies are becoming so much more prevalent, the cost structure for them is changing and making them a little bit more easy to adopt. You know, if you look at things like solar, for example, which is a key part of when you digitize and create sustainability. Today, you know, for $1 million investment, you can get about 1,000 kW of solar. Just 10 years ago, you could only get 200 kW of solar for the same amount. So it's becoming more affordable. And really the conversations we're having with our clients is not just about the cost, but it is about the sustainability and resiliency and how it helps their business, and how these digital assets and these items like EcoStruxure and all the different products available within EcoStruxure can help our customers really prove that investment and improve their business long term.
Great. Thank you, Tom. And it's interesting to see how things are changing and significantly as we move to this new electrical world, right? Rohan, you have worked closely with our contractor partners in this industry. What are your observations on these challenges they face, and how is Schneider helping them meet these challenges?
So thanks, Natalie. When I think about, you described Electricity 4.0, it's the transformation that is in progress across the globe. We as Schneider Electric find ourselves strangely right in the middle of it, and in a very strategic position to really help move this transformation forward. What do I mean by that? You talk about more electric, which we are the Schneider Electric. We are in the middle of the electrification of the products and systems. And the second one is more digital, where for the past over 10 years we've been investing in architectures and solutions such as EcoStruxure. Now you see Exchange and other systems that really help bring these things to light and make them simple. Thinking about what Tom just said, just 10 years ago, 15 years back, the cost of production of using renewables was 10x, right? So now suddenly these things are within reach. Two, so you see the cost of production of a lot of these sustainable technologies has gone exponentially down, makes it within reach. Two is you think about the utilization of electricity, as we call it, more electric, has gone up exponentially. So there's more of a need. You have an aging grid system that frankly is struggling to keep up. And the third is really driving the digitization, or when I say digitization, it's not just IoT and doing things, but really think of it in terms of bi-directional flow of electricity, where it's not just your traditional grid model where there's a utility that produces it, but you go into more of a prosumer type model now, where you're not only a consumer, but you're also a producer. You put all these things together, and again, we find ourselves in Schneider in the middle of being able to really help assist this transformation in two ways. One is through products and technologies. By the way, it's not just for new projects going forward, it's also for retrofits. So for just a couple of examples, what we launched here with at NICA in the US a couple of weeks back is the power pack breaker, which you can take a thermal magnetic breaker, which is 80% of what's used in the field, and you can suddenly make it connected in a very inexpensive and simple way with a Zigbee module, right? So as you think about the existing huge infrastructure and install base, you can start also bringing that back into the digital world. I got similar examples with PrismaSet Active, which is a switchboard we just launched in Europe, in some of the countries in Europe, and what is a system integration effort to go drive a connected switchboard in a traditional world is now 10 to 15 minutes, right? So really internalizing that complexity and making it easy for a contractor or a system integrator. The third and most important piece, frankly, is again, we find ourselves in the middle of it. I'd love to say we defined the partner model, which we didn't, but our lifeblood is working with partners, whether it's distributors, contractors, panel builders, depending on the part of the world. We live by that, and we continue to live by that. So as this transformation happens, we are now taking a critical look at what does that mean to our partners, and with tools like Exchange and things, and of course the EcoStruxure platform, how do we make our life easier, make life easier for them, as well as give them the platform to be able to share ideas and best practices across the world. So it's really an exciting time. Back to you.
Right. Yep. Thank you, Rohan. And really, there is a clear need to work differently and use digital to drive this innovation in new ways. So it's exciting to see. Andy, over to you. What trends are you seeing relative to the new energy landscape? And how is this shift to the new energy world changing the way ISG operates?
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everybody. Obviously, all in different parts of the world. Really excited to join everybody and talk about the innovation and the electricity going forward. So, from my perspective, ISG are very focused on delivering a quality project to meet our customers' requirements and expectations. Within the data center sector, which is the business unit that I work within, program assurance is key. Driving program robust designs and solution for package procurement is the biggest operational change. As a business, we've got better understanding of the current extended lead times and the major plant and equipment, and also the isolated components that make up the equipment that we specify and procure. Key for this is the early and detailed specialist supply chain engagement and collaboration with our customer and the end user to enable us to understand the full detailed requirements, the schedule expectations and the potential risks associated with the current extended lead times that we've seen in the market. In the data center sector, our customers are very often and increasingly understand the building services systems required to facilitate an operational DC. Through power distribution, backup resilience, life safety systems, BMS, EPMS, SCADA, cooling infrastructure, networking, and so on. Integrations are often at a technical level where collaboration from an internal engagement through the design, delivery, commission, and validation, and sometimes supporting the facilities management also. This collaboration at a technical level informs clients and makes it a successful journey, and is a better product that's delivered to the customer, with our end game being repeat business. We find this model of collaboration generates confidence at all stages of delivery and also all levels business to business. The important thing to recognise is data centres consume a significant amount of energy, and functionality has been the main driver. Although there is a significant change in the market to drive a sustainable solution, not just in the design solution as efficiency and energy consumption, which is very important for this sector's sustainability, but also in the process of construction. We are driving adoption of modern methods of construction, reducing waste, driving carbon reductions and corporate social responsibility at the forefront of our decision making. The customers are becoming focused on smart decisions when considering operating costs when designing and delivering a building solution. The solutions ISG and our supply chain partners develop have this focus to generate the right capital solution for our customers. This often involves building in technologies and connectivity into the designs to allow us to capture useful data where analytics can be done to support both efficiency of the building operation and potentially PPM scheduling. The DC market is very buoyant currently, with strong demand for data centers being colo clients or large cloud-based service clients. The industry demand and solutions which offers a technical, challenging schedule at high levels of complexity. Our business needs to be agile, embracing and adopting new technologies both in the building design process and supporting construction activities to drive and develop efficiencies. This makes ISG both competitive in the market and a company of choice for our customers. Thank you. Back to you, Natalie.
Great. Thank you, Andy. Really great insights on the shifts in the industry and the market in the UK specifically, and how ISG is continuing to evolve to execute for your customers. So I'm going to jump over to Tom now. Can you please tell me how you've incorporated digital solutions at Faith Technologies?
Yeah, no, thanks, Natalie. And one of our core values is redefine what's possible, and really we see this digitized world and moving towards is really helping our customers see what is possible. So one of the things we've done is what we call proof of concept. Put some actual projects in place that we can bring customers in to see what is possible. How can it affect your business, and what are we doing? We have a project right now that we're currently finishing up. We're calling it it's a vision center. And it is going to be completely off the grid, fully digitized, fully connected type of a facility that we can bring customers in and show them what it's like to have a project or a building that is completely off grid, and how do you monitor that, and how do you see where you're using your power when your peaks and when it's going down. The other thing that we're doing, talk about electrification, we're putting in, and there's kind of a large storage shed garage area. We're actually putting in some EV chargers in with that as well. Again, completely off grid, driven by solar. that we can have some of our customers, maybe it's a fleet customer that has a larger truck or something that they can come in. We can have them come in with their customers, plug in the vehicle, charge that vehicle, be able to see what a fully sustainable building is. So, talk about kind of going to the next level with sustainability, and EV is sustainable. It's even more sustainable when it's a renewable power source that we're using to be able to drive the electrification of that. So we're doing projects like that and look forward. That facility is going to open up here after the first of the year to be able to bring people in to show them, again, what is possible. And what does that mean for the customers today? We have a standard in place where we put all connected breakers in all of our projects, so we can work with our customers to be able to monitor that power. They may not see the need for what's there today, but we're helping them kind of see what may be needed down the road. So we have a recent project is an 8-floor office building, fully connected for the power monitoring, so we could kind of see what was going on. We realized quickly that we were using more power in some areas, whether it was the HVAC system was kicking on too frequently, or at times when the building wasn't occupied. In one situation, there was a ventilation fan on the roof that was never stopping. It was always running, and it didn't need to be, so it wasn't kicking on and off like it needed to be. What it allowed us to do after 3 months is we reduced our energy consumption by around 15 to 20%, just alone by being able to monitor. So it's kind of that old adage of what gets measured gets done. And with a fully digital world, we're able to measure things today that we weren't able to 10 years ago, and really look forward to what that's going to look like, in 5 years from now.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Tom. Great examples of what's happening real time and what we're, Faith Technologies is doing today. So thank you for sharing. Andy, what are your experiences have been incorporating digital solutions at ISG?
ISG digital technology is embedded as part of our delivery processes, designing through information modeling, creating where possible a digital twin, which will be our driving position, with the use of digital tools to support design modeling, manage program position, cost management, interfacing assistance and components. The digital environment, coupled with the use of field tools with data capture and integrated software with real-time analytics, has moved our business positively, creating the ability to capture in real time and analyze the data, very similar to what Tom just mentioned there in respect of reviewing the information and being able to kind of optimize the solution. This useful data captures enable timely decisions and interventions, driving continually improvement and our own efficiencies. Digital technologies enable us to drive DFMA, design for manufacture and assembly, or in other words, off-site construction, into our projects more than ever. This supporting many aspects of the construction process, for example, detailed coordination, scheduling improvements, cleaner and defined integrations of systems, both MEP and CSA, quality control and assurances, commissioning, and also moving into the client training zone. From the digital tools, we are ultimately developing and becoming digitized O&Ms with 3D modeling environment to support customers in the management of their own facilities. We're very aware of the use of technologies in our marketplace is key to being competitive and enable us to provide an attractive offering to our customers. We would consider ourselves early adopters of the technologies where we see value, and often run trials to review and understand the potentials and ensure full benefits are being achieved. Thanks, Natalie.
All right. Great. Thank you, Andy. So from Rohan, Tom, and Andy just highlighted a couple of interesting experiences that they've had as their companies make the transition to Electricity 4.0. Rohan, I'm going to come back to you. Can you give us your view of how Schneider supports our partners as they journey through the new energy landscape?
Sure. So it was actually fascinating listening to the guys, and what it tells me is we're going from a concept of what used to be called green premium to more of a brown discount. And what that means is now this is no longer a nice to have, it's almost a must have. Otherwise, you're not going to get the expectation of what you should, what a client or an end user expects, right? And it's really driven by the cost, also driven by the awareness geopolitically of the importance of the environment to us for a sustainable future. Now you take that back and you go, how do we drive what the two gentlemen just described at scale? And the challenge there is, if you think about it as a project, right? And I think about it as in Schneider, we use the term productize, which you won't find in the dictionary, but what it means is you take what today requires a systems engineering or a system integration project, and you try to make it into a product, right? So the first thing we try to do is think about, instead of having a project that needs significant amount of design and engineering work, can we simplify and internalize that complexity into the product or the solutions we do? So that's one prong on the effort. The second one is to really drive scale. We need to make sure that some of the best practices that each of our partners are learning, and frankly, in many cases, we learn from folks like Tom and Andy. They tell us what the real world looks like and what we need to incorporate, right? So really take that and have a platform like Exchange where those partners can share ideas, can bring up problems, and really build an ecosystem that can help drive that message and help all of us really scale to really drive the electricity 4.0 or the new energy landscape. And then the third one is to think about connected products or connectivity in the form of whether it's EcoStructure or reference designs, where you try to internalize or productize that complexity, but you also, if you can't do that, come up with reference architectures. Data centers is a classic example where we see a lot of that being done. I call it to some extent the copy-paste model, where you build one and you can modularize it. You can try to replicate. I wish it were that simple, but it's easier than what it used to be. But then take those reference architectures and really expand those to different places, hospitals. My favorite example, when we did, I don't know if it was the UK, Andy, but it was a pig farm. I didn't realize you have that many pig farms, but we have a reference architecture for a pig farm, right? And what it does is it helps the partner pick the technology, decide what choices they need to make, and really deploy that a lot faster. So these are just three examples where I think we can really together work to make this a lot easier, cost-effective, and scalable.
Mm-hmm. Right. Thanks, Rohan. In listening to you, Tom and Andy, I hear a common theme, and that is collaboration, right? And to me, that proves that partnerships really are the enablers for this electricity 4.0. And Rohan, I'm going to come back to you real quick to get your take on how Schneider helps our partners across the project lifecycle. What new things we have to offer?
So the first example I'll give you is, as I mentioned, is Exchange, and thank you for our colleagues here that they have experience personally using it. We've got over 700,000 users now, and really the idea there is to create an ecosystem for partners to be able to share. I mentioned the example of the pig farm reference architecture. Exchange is a place where we can actually share those, right? And different people can use it and really deploy them and adopt them into their own technology. So when I think about these simplified interactions that we want to build, right? So find the right technology, find the right solution provider if you're not the person in your local area. So really build that community. Second one is integrate the new technologies into these reference architectures with end-to-end solutions. Third one is gain the implementation and the know-how. So you do one of these reference designs, and really it makes that particular partner a lot more comfortable with replicating those, upskill their workforce. If you take a step back and think about, what sometimes in the US you reference as the single line, the one line as we call it, what's happening today is it's no longer that reference one line that's been around for the last 50 years or maybe even more. It's multiple one lines. And what yesterday used to be primarily an electrical contractor is almost their role is now a mini system integrator. And so as their workforce is changing and their demands are changing, we hope to be able to help through these partnership tools to really drive and enable our partners to be able to upskill and again scale. So those are some of the examples of what we're doing.
Great, thank you. And Andy, I'm going to jump over to you. Can you share an example or two of how Schneider Electric Exchange has helped you or your company with a project or a problem you faced recently?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm new to this Schneider Exchange platform, so I can only really comment on kind of first impressions and intuitiveness. What I can say is it appears to be good quality content on the platform, and the search facility works really well. It's simple to use and it feels really familiar the first time you use it. I can see a real benefit for my teams, and as I mentioned, the supply chain and the clients, using it as an engagement tool to connect and review kind of relevant information, or connect with people who could support on some technical issues, especially if there was a time issue with regards to supporting that issue. Which if we've got an issue that potentially somebody else has had a solution, that solution could be shared quite quickly and obviously supported in a collaborative way as the solution that works going across both projects. So for me, I can kind of see a real benefit to that as the platform grows and the interaction and collaboration on the platform works.
Great to hear experiences. And Tom, how about you? Can you share an example or two about how Schneider Electric Exchange has helped you or your company with a project or a problem you've seen recently?
Yeah. No, I think much like Andy, I think the platform is very user friendly. It's like any other online platform, very much, whether in your search engine or whatever it is. So it's very easy to use. I think two main things I think we've found the most benefit from is first is just being able to find product information or ideas from the exchange. So you may have one of our engineers that's working with a client and may not have all the knowledge that they need. We may not have the internal knowledge. It may be a newer type of a product or a newer situation for us. They can go out there and see how it's been applied. They can go out there and kind of search and see once what maybe the specifications are or what the intended purpose is. So I think that's been a huge benefit to the exchange. The second one is while we really serve clients across the U.S., there's sometimes we may not have a lot of resources in a particular area. So the exchange helps us, connect to maybe a local resource, somebody that may be local that we can partner with to be able to meet the needs of the customers and really have that seamless transaction with our customers. So those are two areas I think that we've found the most benefit. Continue to use it. Obviously, it's an evolution with how we use that, and we will continue to evolve to integrate that in with how we do business and how we kind of get knowledge as related to Schneider products.
Right. Great. Thank you, Tom. It is exciting to hear how this platform like Exchange is starting to add value to the contractor community and the future opportunities we have with it as well. Okay, so Rohan, can you please bring us home with some of your final thoughts on the value to our ecosystem with our partners?
I will, but before I get there, I have one more thought I wanted to add.
Go.
And that's around, you think about Exchange, that's one dimension. You may have recently heard with all the different partnerships that Schneider Electric has. If you think about the entire building value chain, it's highly fragmented. And really what we're trying to do is use software and digitization to be able to connect. When you think about the different phases, as you have a design phase, you got the build phase, and you got the operate and maintain. With some of the partnerships that we have, LP, ETAP, IG, XAO, some examples in your design phase, build phase, RIB, and then a software like Plan-On. The idea here is really to help integrate all those three phases and really take away the fragmentation and support our partners really through that and end users to be able to drive it. So that's also an important element. By the way, it's not just for Schneider hardware. So we share that. It's an open system. It works just as well with our competitors' hardware. The idea here is really to take the complexity out of the system. So now to bring it back home. Electricity 4.0 to me is not just here, but it is here at scale. So I like to say green premium is now brown discount. So it is imperative that we drive it at scale. We need our partners to be able to drive it at scale. We need technology simplification to be able to drive it at scale. And we need to really think about the ecosystem as opposed to individual products to really help bring it together. And to me, with tools like Exchange, it helps us foster that ecosystem. It's at Schneider Electric, we certainly feel like we are in the middle, we are in the eye of the storm, so to speak, to help drive this forward, but we can't do it alone, and we won't do it alone. It's working with partners like Andy and Tom, and 700,000 other folks really help build that ecosystem and drive this to move it forward, because we believe in sustainability and zero carbon emissions as our future. So back to you.
Great. Thank you, Rohan. So I'd like to take an opportunity now to spend a few minutes with the Q&A. So I've seen some great questions in the chat throughout the session, and we've got some time Some more coming in now. So let me select a few for our panelists to consider. So let's see. I'll start with Andy on the first question. How aware are customers of the Electricity 4.0 revolution and all the possibilities that electrification and digitization offer?
Our customers are becoming increasingly aware of the benefits and needs for electrification and digitization to drive the net carbon neutral data center, which is definitely in the near future and very high on our clients' corporate agenda. The ability for customers via digital connectivity to understand and control energy usage will in itself create efficiencies across their assets, and again, using analytics to drill down to the required information to optimize their operations. Sustainability and decarbonisation is becoming a leading deliverable in our tender submissions, with plans really adopted into the project delivery phases. This is very much aligned with the ISG's own policy in respect to targeting net carbon zero operations by 2030.
Great. Thank you, Andy. Next question for Rohan. As partners can be based worldwide, as we see here today, how is Schneider Electric able to ensure a similar kind of support for partners to help them grow and lead?
I think about it as first of all, it's a great question, and it's the benefits of being a global company. But really, the model that we've adopted inside Schneider is we're a multinational, a global company, but we're also very local. Because I can tell you just the way the electrical distribution business evolves between different countries. Tom has a very different set of needs in the U.S. than what Andy would expect in the U.K. So while we want to share the best practices, we also want to make sure that we are in touch and really understand the local requirements. So what we have is an operating model where we are global, but at the same time, we also have what we call as the hub structure, where we have people in each of the zones in each of the countries that are on the ground, clearly understand what the local deployment, whether it's regulations, whether it's codes and standards, it's ways of working. How do we really build to solve for those local problems? And in our hub structure, we're able to go deploy it locally, but at the same time scale it globally through the tools that we talk about. And that to me, frankly, is a big value add to our partners, where they can have best of both worlds.
Thank you, Rohan. And let's take the last question for Tom here. What new ways of working have you adopted due to the pandemic? And which of these do you think will remain a permanent part of the way you do business?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is while the world was smaller because of digitization and the cloud and everything, I think that's even proved to be more so during the pandemic and work from home. When last March, when everybody got sent home, we had to work remote. And we had to figure out new ways of doing business. I don't think that's going away. I hope that we can do a little bit more in person, because you miss that personal touch. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of things that aren't going to go away with being able to work remotely. So kind of tying that back to this conversation is first the digital connection to that. We're able to turn systems on and off in our building based upon when employees are coming in the building, to make sure that we're not using too much energy or too much power. And then the most one, I'll go back to the Schneider Exchange. I think that's a really critical component, because people are now working. They may work from 7 in the morning to 2, and then they may be with family, and then they may come back online at 9 o'clock. Well, there's not necessarily somebody available via phone to do that. So they can go to the exchange, look for information, make connections, and get that. So I see that continuing, and I think some of those tools and some of those things that we're doing are going to help enable us moving forward.
Great. Agreed. Awesome. Thank you, Tom. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the remainder of the questions, and we'll answer those on our Exchange platform, so everybody can experience the tool and understand the value in it there. So all the questions will be answered. You can find it in Exchange. I want to give a big thank you to our speakers, Tom, Andy, and Rohan, and our great audience for your positive energy and generous participation today. It really is incredible to see so many people who have joined us all over the world. But here are my takeaways really from this discussion. One, big transformation in buildings and facilities brought on by electrification and digitization. Two, new tools and solutions are here to take advantage of Electricity 4.0. And 3, through digital collaboration platforms like SE Exchange and a strong network of partners, we can all win in this new electric world. So Schneider Electric's simplified, open, and digital solutions deliver energy efficiency to our customers while allowing all of us to work smarter, faster, and more productively. And our message is simple. It's our mission to be your digital partner for sustainability and efficiency. We want to help you design a winning strategy for your business. So you can check out the next innovation talk in a couple of weeks to get going deeper on the topic of universal automation. In the meantime, stick around for a few minutes to watch a demo of the Schneider Electric Exchange. And be sure to continue the conversation on Schneider Electric Exchange and check out answers to the chat questions from this session. Thank you again for tuning in. Please stay safe and take care.
This is Schneider Electric Exchange, a bold, open business platform where experts and innovators solve everyday energy management and automation challenges every day. A place where efficiency and sustainability meet practicality and profitability. Here you can gain access to tools and resources to answer your own business challenges or solve someone else's. Speed up time to market with a little help from the experts. Reach new partners, customers, and markets around the globe. Let's get technical for a sec. With Exchange, you can dig deep into a library of software solutions and design documentation to enrich projects, or play with developer resources like Schneider and third-party APIs, SDKs, and datasets. You can also tap the community for help. Seek out service providers, developers, engineers and integrators, operations managers, and technologists, or harness the power of the crowd to answer challenges. Ask or advise through the forums, and find the right people to help scale your business. Then there's the marketplace. Breakthrough solutions need a home, a place to be found and sold. This is it. Open, accessible, and easy to browse, the marketplace is where bold ideas thrive. That's Schneider Electric Exchange. What are you waiting for?